Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope all of you are doing well, great. And today we'll be talking about good paragraph writing. So how can you write a good paragraph when it comes to writing? And in this work, you will be having a great guide to good paragraph writing. Guys, these materials are submitted to College of Nursing first year students, English language. Okay, so let's start. What is writing? So first you need to know what is writing. Writing can be said to be an act of forming the symbols. So in writing you create, you response, okay, you will produce, okay. So it's a productive skill in which you produce things. So you have ideas in mind, you have thoughts in mind, you have information and ideas in your brain. You have to change it, transform it, and changing it into symbols, into words, into letters. And when people see and read those words, they will get the same message that you put in that writing. This is what we call writing. And writings are not all the same, okay. Arranging the symbols is very important. How will you arrange those words? Okay, so the arrangement of these words is very important, and we have many different styles of arranging it, and we will be studying that throughout the course. And this is just an introduction to writing. You guys, you had another introduction to reading, and this one I posted in April, at the beginning of April. This one is a introduction of writing. So you have to watch these videos, and then you go to the other materials, and then you go to the book, okay. And these words are arranged to form sentences, and sentences are arranged into a certain criteria, into into some specific forms, specific ways, and then it will become a paragraph, and paragraphs together will create an essay, and some essays together will create a piece of writing. We can call it a research, we can call it an article, you can call it a leaflet, you can call it many other things. Next up, we have some major types of writing. Guys, these are not all the types of writing. We have other ways, we have other types, we have many other types, but these are the most common ones, guys. We have free writing, process writing, narrative writing, persuasive writing. We talked about this persuasive writing, guys. We talked about it in March. And each of these types, they have their own specific criterias and techniques. So if you are doing a free writing, then your techniques are different from process writing, from narrative writing, from persuasive writing. The techniques of persuasive is different from the techniques that you use in process. So each one has its own specialty. Okay, why writing is important? You may ask this question. You say, I'm a student in nursing college, and I'm gonna be a nurse after all in the future. I'm gonna be working in a hospital, so it has nothing to do with writing. Why writing is important to me? Well, writing is important for a doctor, for an engineer, for a nurse, for a teacher, for everybody. It's amazing if you can write in a good way. Why? Because of so and so. Let me tell you. Writing aims to capture thought and idea, transform it into a permanent. The first point is to make it permanent. Something that is in your mind today, it maybe tomorrow that opinion goes away. Maybe it's not in your mind. You know, people are writing poems. At this moment, they know. After 2 hours, if you ask them, they forgot. People's brain is like that. We will forget. But when you write, it becomes permanent. Number two, and it's a kind of communication. Okay, some people can you can contact some people through writing. How can I contact somebody who is from you know, another person, you know, that I cannot speak the language, but I can write something and I can translate it and I can make them understand. Okay, so is a good way of communicating, and you write in your for your audience, not for your personal style. Usually when you write, you don't write for yourself, you write for other people. Other people will read your thing. And writing has to be much clearer than spoken language, because in spoken language we have gestures, we have eye contact. When physically you are with somebody, you can say many things, okay? Because you can move your hand, they will understand easier. You can raise your intonation, your sound intonation, your voice will change it, your eye contact, your gestures, your movement, your body, all of the things will change it. But when it comes to writing, all of these things are missing. There's only words, there's only sentences. So it should be very clear. Students' performance is assessed through work, through written work. When you take an exam, usually teachers will assess you through writing. They do not say come and do so and so. No, they say write so and so. Usually it's like that. In many other places, not only in our country. Documentation is mostly done in written form. For example, you finish university and you ask for your certificate. Your certificate is not like through speech. No, you should have a document, you should have a certificate, you should have a written thing. Okay? You go to university, you get a certificate, that is a documentation. People work through that. People do not, you know, work through. If you say I'm a nurse, okay, you are a nurse, where is your documentation, where is your certificate? So writing is very important, especially in formal affairs. People use writings. If you don't have writing, all right. And author's purpose. Author means the writer, the person that writes. The purpose of that person who writes, it's okay. It changes and it has many big impact and a big effect on the writing. Before you begin writing, you must figure out what the purpose of the paragraph is. Okay, so if you have students, you want to tell them something, you write something for your students, then your writing is different. You want to write a story, then your writing is different. Your purpose is different. For example, you are a salesperson to a company, you want people to buy your product, then your writing is different. You want to share feelings. For example, you want to tell people something about the situation of the coronavirus. For example, you struggled, you had a very sadness, a very deep sadness during the coronavirus situation. So you want to tell the people each one. Okay, the first one, writing to persuade. Persuade means to try to convince someone to think in some way. For example, according to just as I said, for example, you are a salesperson for one of the pharmaceutical companies, for a pharmaceutical product. For example, you have to make people buy that product, that medicine, that drug. You have to tell them to buy it. okay, but you have to have your own techniques. You can have a piece of writing, okay, a paper, and telling them why this company, why this product is better than the other, products. So this is very important. You have to know the techniques. You need it in the future. Okay? So advertisement, newspaper reports, and posters. We talked about some of these in March. Okay, and then writing to inform. And sorry guys, there's a noise in the sound, and I cannot fix it at the moment. Sorry about that. Inform means to give people information about something. For example, my writing my slides, I wrote to inform for you, because I want to give you information, something that I have information about, and I want to give it to you as well. So news report, the research paper. This is the research paper. This is the thing that you do in 4th year. And instructions like my slides and maps and graphs, all of these will. And writing to entertain, well, this one to enjoy, for enjoyment, for spending a good time. They buy comics, it's enjoyable, a comedy, poems, and jokes and riddles. All these things are for enjoyment and to get. Writing to share feelings, okay, to tell the reader what you are thinking. For example, people share their ideas about sport events, about many other things, about any event that is happening, that is, for example, the coronavirus. You want to share your feelings. For example, you are struggling with the coronavirus situation, with the pandemic. You are really suffering from it. You cannot sleep. You share your, feelings. You write a letter. You write a diary. You write journals, and you tell the people what you're thinking. Okay. So, writing process. This is very, very important, guys. This chart, I just want to explain the chart and nothing else. Pre-writing is number 1. Drafting is number 2. Reviewing and revising is number 3. And rewriting is number 4. Okay? So, guys, these ones should be chronological. That means pre-writing is number 1. If you put this in number 2, it's a mistake. Your writing process is wrong. So you should take it the way it is. Pre-writing is number 1. So pre-writing means before you write, what should you do? You choose a topic and you gather some ideas. You collect some ideas. Some people do brainstorming. Some people do free writing. Some people do mind map. Okay, whatever you do, and then you organize your ideas. And then you draft. Draft comes after these. Okay, so each one has its own order. You have to be doing it into the correct order. So this one comes first, pre-writing, and second one, drafting. You write. You start writing. You don't care about mistakes. You just write. Number 3, you review the writing. You review the things you wrote, and you correct the mistakes. You correct the grammar. And you correct the meaning and all of them. And rewriting, you write the correct version. For example, you write with that, in number 3 you are removing something, you are adding something else, you are correcting, you're making it nicer. In this one, you write the final version, the corrected form, the one that you added another extra points to it, and you make the final corrections, and that's it. If you do this 4 steps, it looks like 4 major steps and 6 sub steps, if you follow these points, your writing will be in a very academic way, and your writing will be very good. But if you do not follow these, your writing will not be something very nice. Okay, and when I assess you, when I check your writing, when I judge your writing, I will not judge it as a good paragraph writing. I will not judge it as a good, writing skill. They will, even the other, tests that is done to test people, they judge it according to these criteria. What is paragraph? Paragraph is some sentences together that is about one single topic, one single thought, one single opinion, one single idea, one single subject. For example, you're talking about anything. You're talking about a car, let's say. All the sentences should be about that topic. For example, you are talking about a sport event. You are talking about, for example, a city. All of your sentences should be about that. And it must be between something like 6 to 10. Some people say less than 12. Some people say less than 15. These are not like rules that you cannot break. No, it's different from a source to another source, but it should be something between this. A paragraph should never be more than one idea. For example, you cannot write about Lionel Messi and for example a sports car in one paragraph. No, you should talk about one thing. You cannot talk about like you talk about the continent, you talk about Australia, and then you go and talk about China, which is in different place. You divide your paragraph into two parts, like one of them talking about a car and the other talking about water, for example, or global warming, or climate change, whatever. So no, it should be about one topic. Type of paragraphs. We have some types of paragraphs. The major ones are descriptive and narrative, and we will talk about the other types. Descriptive means meant to entertain and tells the subject how it looks, how it sounds, how it feels, how it tastes, how it smells. So basically it talks about the five senses. Okay, so for example, you go to a kitchen. What do you smell? What do you see? What did you taste? How it looks, how it feels, how it sounds. So these are the things that you need to do in descriptive paragraphs. Okay, and in narrative, it tells a story. You say first he did so and so, and then he did so and so, and then he went so and so, and then blah blah blah. And you tell the story from the beginning till the end. Okay, and then expository and persuasive. And the expository paragraph is meant to inform. It provides information or explain a subject, or give steps, show how to do something. For example, you write a recipe about a kind of food. For example, you tell a friend how to make biryani, how to make cake. So this is called expository, because you inform them, you give them information, and you explain a subject, and you tell them step by step how to do something. This is called expository. Persuasive is to persuade, to make people convinced, to content other people about something, and to share your, to prove that your belief or your feeling is true. Okay, structure of paragraph. We said that when we write, we have words. We use letters to make words, and then we put words together, we create sentences. And we put 6 to 10 sentences together, that will be a paragraph. But now, the sentences inside one paragraph, they have to be about the same subject, the same topic, the same idea. But according to their arrangement, they have different duties, they have different jobs. The first paragraph is very different from a paragraph that comes in the half of the writing. Okay? The paragraph number 1 is different from paragraph number 3. Sentence number 1 is different from sentence number 3. Or sentence number 1 is different from sentence number 8. Okay? The purpose of topic sentence: to generate interest, to state the main idea, and the most general sentence. So the first sentence should be like very general. It should give a general idea about the subject, and it state the main idea, and to make people interested in that. So that when people read the first sentence, they cannot leave the paragraph, and they say this writing is boring. No, your writing should be very interesting. When people read the first paragraph, the first sentence, they should go and read until the end. So you have to make your readers like that. And the other sentences are supporting sentences. So except for the first one, the others are all supporting sentences. And the purposes of the supporting sentences is to introduce the main point and explain it. Okay, so the first one you just talked about the main idea. In the other ones, you introduce the main points, you introduce new points, and you explain it, and you give them some detail, and you follow the topic sentence, and you give them more information about it. You give an example or something. And the last sentence is very important as well. So we have 3 structure. When it comes to structure, we have 3 points. The first sentence we call a topic sentence, and the supporting sentences are the middle sentences from 2 until the end, and the last one is the third one, is concluding sentence. The purpose of concluding sentence is to restate the topic sentence in a new way. It talks about the same thing in a new way. It leaves the reader with something to think about or wanting more. You see, it makes you more interested in that subject, and it tells you it suggests more study, more points about that in the end, in order to leave you with something to think about. And give the final comment about how do I make it interesting? How do I make my writing interesting? This is a very nice question. The topic sentence and concluding sentences. If your topic sentence and your concluding sentence is nice, then your writing is very interesting. People likes to read it. If just tell me that, how is your topic sentence and how is your concluding sentence? How is your first sentence and how is your last sentence? If they are nice, your whole writing will be nice. You must hook the reader with a topic sentence and leave the reader thinking and wanting more with a concluding sentence. For example, rhetorical question. I think we talked about that before in March. A question that makes someone think rather than respond. So you say, what are you waiting for? For example, this question is making you, it's not waiting for the response. It's not waiting for your response. No, it's rather waiting for you to think of other things. Okay? Imagery, creating a picture in the reader's mind by making the reader see, hear, taste, smell, or touch what is being described. So you always go for the five senses: touching and seeing, hearing, sight, and taste. All of these are very. How do I know when to start a new paragraph? Start a new paragraph when you begin a new idea. For example, you want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of atomic bomb. You say atomic bomb is good because of so and so and so. You write 6 to 8 to 10 sentences, about it. This is a paragraph. And then you write about atomic bomb's disadvantages. And then you write 6 to 10 other sentences about that, which is all against atomic bomb. Okay, so some of your the first paragraph was in favor of atomic bomb. The second paragraph was against. So we cannot put these two together. No, we should put them in different paragraphs, because good paragraph cannot be about two things. It should be about one thing. So if you want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of something, you have to make it like 2 paragraphs or more. How do I use transitions or transition ideas within or among paragraphs? Guys, it's very easy. You say first, second, third, etc., last, and finally, most of all, overall. These words, you use it at the beginning of the sentences, and it is very good. It makes the reader to know, to understand where are you in the topic, where are you exactly, and what is coming next. They expect, their expectation will be clear. They know what they're expecting. They know what are you writing. They know what are they reading. It makes them very they know what are they reading, and they understand the reading, the piece of writing clearly. Okay, what should I avoid? Try not to use the same word at the start of the sentence more than twice in the paragraph. So the same word over and over is distracting. It's boring. For example, you write something more and more. For example, you say, in the morning I did so and so, and in the morning so and so. In the morning, why you always say in the morning? In the morning, it's boring. You make your paragraphs, you make your writing very not nice and disturbing and distracting. People don't like to read it. Do not change verb tenses. For example, if you started by using past tense, you have to stay by talking about the points in the past way. So you see, I did that, there was it had this way. It's supposed to be past until the end. If you are talking about something in the future, all of them will be future. Say will be like that, going to be, and you should stay to your tense. And if it's a present tense, present until the end. Never start or end a paragraph with the following: this is how I feel about, or I will tell you about. Now you know about, or this was the story of. These types of sentences known as filler sentences. They serve no purpose but to take up space. These kind of speech, do not use them, because teachers know. Teachers, when they see those things, they know that they already know you are talking about a story. Why you say, this was my story today? That come on, talk about your story in another way. So because they are not interesting and they do not provide any new Here is a sample paragraph, guys, and the first sentence until the full stop is the topic sentence. This is the topic sentence until here, until football. So there are many popular sports in my country, but the most popular sport is football. You see this sentence? It is introducing the subject. It is very general. This is a very good topic sentence. And all of these from children until competitions, all of them are supporting sentences. They are all about football, guys, football in school or football, And finally, this is the concluding sentence, guys. See, football is really like a national sport in my country. So you see how the reader, how the writer is making it interesting. It says football is like a national sport. National sport, that means my nation sport. For example, a nation like Brazil, most of the people do football. So it's the national sport of Brazil. So in that country, in the writer's country, football is a national sport. This is very nice. This paragraph is very interesting. And now read the paragraph that is about football and answer these questions. You have 5 questions. Read the questions carefully and answer them. I will be posting an assignment in the classroom. You have to be writing the answers of these 5 questions, and I will rewrite the questions anyway, and I will be waiting for your responses, and you will be marked through your answers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I could see you physically, all of us together in university, because real classroom with physical attendance is quite different from this being so distant like this, and through online it can't be compared to the physical one. The physical one is much nicer and more enjoyable and more useful. Anyways, I hope that will happen soon and we see each other soon in university. I miss all of you guys. I hope all of you are safe and had a good time. These terrible moments that passed, I hope they never come back. Anyway,